Hey, I'm Stephanie, and it's time to take advantage of some Black Friday sales Shop With Me style. If you want to get right to the Shop With Me section, I always use timestamps to save you time. But I also like to put things in context. If you're here for that, well then, I'm doing my online shopping publicly, partly because I want to keep myself accountable to my own slow shopping, or as I call it, ADAGIO shopping goals, but also because I feel like there aren't all that many examples of moderation on the internet. There's minimalists on one side of the spectrum, there's toxic consumerism on the other, and I am trying to navigate my way into the middle, some comfortable, healthy in-between. I feel like if there were more public examples of moderation online, then people who consume a lot of social media content, like myself, might be more apt to make more moderate decisions, because whether we like it or not, we are always influencing each other. That's what social creatures do. I feel like more people don't post moderate content, for example, a moderate haul, because it's just not going to get attention. What gets attention are extremes. That's what people want to comment about. That's what people want to share because it gets reactions. It contributes to the drama. And that's what the algorithm likes. It likes interaction. And so it likes extremes. And so I think that's why I see a whole lot of extremes in my feed. So today I'm going to be extremely moderate. And if you want to see more content like that in your feed, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and maybe leave me a muscle emoji in the comments because we are stronger together. In general, there are different schools of thought about sales for people like me who are actively trying to cultivate a healthier relationship with things like shopping. Some people avoid sales altogether because they are a source of temptation, and sales can lead to things like impulse purchases and overspending, so I completely understand that train of thought. I tend to view sales differently, not only as tools to save money, but also tools to organically limit my purchases. If I see something out there in the world that I'd really like to buy, and it's not on sale, I just don't buy it. And waiting for it to go on sale forces me to take a cooling off period of sorts. And I find that often just the act of waiting for an item to go on sale is enough to keep me from buying it altogether. But when an item that piqued my interest remains relevant to me beyond that cooling off period, that's when I can put it on my shopping list and wait for a sale. Enter Black Friday season, because we all know it's not a day anymore. And I use this time of year to replenish things that I've used up, things that I would need to buy anyway, or maybe one or two items that I think could potentially add value to my life. We'll just pick up some little things here or there because I'm not planning on purchasing anything big for myself this holiday season, although I have been really tempted by a Dyson vacuum cleaner. You know, you're finally an adult when you want to vacuum for Christmas. So here's the plan, because not every single company has their sales going yet. So what I'm going to do is either, if the stuff is already on sale, I'm just going to buy it, get it over with, and I'm not going to worry too much about if there's a better sale coming on Cyber Monday or Christmas Eve or whatever. I'm just going to take the sale and run. And if it's not on sale, what I'm going to do is fill my cart and get it all prepped so that when the day finally comes that it does go on sale, that it will be all set to go. My first stop is ESUM Cosmetics, because I used to have one of their W19 brushes and I lost it while I was on the road, but I miss it every time I do my makeup, so I am going to buy one to replace the one I lost. Add that to the cart. But here is where I really have to exercise some restraint, because I really like to use this brush to apply not only my lip products, but also my under eye corrector. And part of me knows that the sale is coming and I want to buy two of them, one for the under eyes and one for my lips, because having two would save me time cleaning my brush in between products every time I do my makeup. But that is the old version of me. She had the best of intentions. She wanted to use stuff to make my life easier. But as good as those intentions were, it led me to overpurchase things and get overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that I had. So I am just going to buy one of these, and I'm going to be so happy to have it back in my life. I really like the way it lays product down, especially the way it works with creams, and I feel like the finish under my eyes looks that much better when I use this brush. But I'm also here to look for a good bronzer brush. I thought I would try one from ESUM because I've had really good experiences with their brushes in the past. I used them for years, even way before I was on YouTube. They were coming around the world with me everywhere. And I have yet to find a bronzer brush from any brand that has the size and the shape and density that I would ideally want for a powder bronzer. I think my biggest struggle is that I have a pretty small face, and so the brushes that have the shape I want are usually too big. But we'll see if we can find a solution here. So when I look at my options, I see an X51 Luxe Tapered Powder Brush. I see the P55 Angled Contour Brush, the V49 Powder Brush, the X52 Blush Brush, and the X57 Domed Face Brush. That X57 Domed Face Brush looks like a great shape, and it's a natural hairbrush, which I tend to like, but looking at the diameter, I have a feeling that might be too big for my face. It's always so hard to tell online, isn't it? So I'll take this one out of the running for now. I think that's safer. The X52 Tapered Blush Brush is also natural hair, and it does look a little bit smaller. It doesn't look as wide, but I am not sure that that tapered shape is going to give me the effect I'm looking for. Once again, it is hard to tell online because I don't know how much flick and whip the bristles have, and that really affects application. But I think I would like a brush that's a little bit stiffer, and the length of the hairs looks like this brush might have a little bit more flexibility and give. It could work, but I think I'm going to take a look at the other ones first. Here we have the V49 Soft Set Powder Brush. This does have a nice domed shape, but when I look at the dimensions, it's also 40 millimeters. So I think this one might be a bit too wide as well. It's also a synthetic brush, and I really do like ESUM synthetics, but I think for what I'm looking for that I would prefer a natural hair brush in this context. So we'll take this one out of the running too. Next, we have the Luxe Stocking Stuffer X51 brush. It kind of reminds me of Area 51, very X-Files, I like it. This actually looks like an amazing deal. $49 for a natural hair brush of this size is tempting, but it looks really large for my purposes and my face. If I were looking for an all-over powder brush, then I think that I would probably toss this one right into my bag. But that's not what I'm here for today. I have to stay on target. So this one is now also out of the running. And now we come to the P55 Angled Contour Brush. This one has a smaller diameter and shorter bristles. That sounds good. It has natural hair, and based on the way it's cut, it looks like the bristles will be fairly stiff because they're shorter. And that's what I'm looking for because I'd like to more easily pick up some of my Baked Gelée bronzer. And this size and shape looks like it might give me a good deal of control. So it's between the X52 and the P55. Okay. The X52 looks like it has potential, and I'm sure it's a gorgeous brush, but it just looks like the bristles are going to be too flexible. They're going to have too much give for what I'm looking for. So the P55 it is. I've never felt so decisive in my life. I'm now going to avoid browsing the rest of the site because I know myself and I would probably be tempted to buy some of their makeup. I don't currently own any of it, but I did have the opportunity to test some of their blushes and their lip palette when I borrowed it from a friend so that I could test it and review it on my channel. The quality was great, so I'm not even going to look, I'm not even going to tempt myself. We're just going to move on. Next stop, Morocco. We're going to go to the Moroccan oil website since I am running out of my hair mask. This Weightless hydrating mask is just a repeat replacement purchase. I live in an area with extremely hard water, and I find that this hair mask has really helped my hair retain its moisture, and it's been doing that without weighing my hair down at all, which is a prerequisite for someone like me who has extremely fine hair. Let's move on and head over to Urban Decay. What I need here is a refill of my primer potion. I have deep set, oily, hooded eyes, which makes it nearly impossible to keep eyeshadow on my eyes, but this primer works really well for me. So I am almost out of this. I am just kind of like squeezing out the last bits, and I don't want to be without this. So I am going to use their 30% off sale to get some money off there. That's a better sale than I think they're running at Ulta. Normally I would just get it at a place like Ulta, but I think they're only offering 20% off, whereas Urban Decay is offering 30% off. So I'm just going to put that in my bag right now and buy it. Oh, I completely missed that there's 50% off all eye stuff. even better. Now we're off to Credo Beauty because I would like a very specific green color corrector. I was using the Wet n Wild green primer, which is supposed to be a color correcting primer and a glowy primer all in one, but I found it was just a glowy primer. There was no color correction at all in that thing. And although I liked it, like I thought it was a nice glowy primer, I have other products that are like that. So I ended up giving that one away, and now I have no green color corrector. And so I wanted to try to find one. And the one that I have been looking at is the EXA High Fidelity Balancing Color Corrector in the shade green. I think that's what's going to work for me best to get rid of the redness that I have from my rosacea, because I feel like the shade of this color corrector would work really well for me. It doesn't look like it's going to turn blue on me. So here's hoping. And we're done. Like with the whole Black Friday shopping extravaganza. No passion purchases in sight, not a single sparkly item. And that's not something that comes easy to me. If you saw my most recent new makeup video, then you know exactly how many things were tempting me and that I really had to talk myself out of them. If you enjoy style and beauty content with a smidge of conscious consumerism, then I hope you'll like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. But even if you don't, I hope you have a great week and we can all remember that even stumbling can be a form of moving forward. So let's stumble in style.